Na na na.
Na na na.
Introducing New Rap Takes Podcast, episode 34.
On SoundCloud and iTunes. Na 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 na.
Those are fire na-na-nas. That's not just your average na-na-na-na.
It memed himself into existence as a popular figure that is beloved outside of rap too, for some reason, I guess, because he's just become an icon.
He's a nice guy. Champ looks like what like a Christmas sweater feels like. Just warm and just.
I'm sure Chance would love that description.
Oh man,
that's how I describe.
I never had any familiarity with Chance before acid rap personally.
I didn't know
he had
either.
10 days, and that was like gained a little bit of internet hype, you know. But I think acid rap is where like more mass appeal and mass broad intros.
I can think two Dope Boys. They're probably the only reason I even knew who he was. He had one song, I think it was like Brain Cells or something, or 22 Otis, Flying Lotus. One of those from his first mixtape, 10 Day. And two Dope Boys, they would post him like all the time, and I wouldn't check because I'm just like, he's all right, like not really what I'm feeling. But then like when this mixtape dropped, I felt like there was so much hype. Like, I don't know, it was just like internet hype. Like everyone's like, have you heard this Chance the Rapper? Like it kind of was like it was just like, I don't know who put it into the air, but they built him up so much.
I think it was a refreshing like time for hip hop too. There was a lot of music that wasn't great, I want to say, in 2012, 2013. There's always good music if you look for it, but Chance offered like the musical element that wasn't the Drake singing. It was like soulful, I would say, more so.
It reminded you of like that old Kanye style, that like everyone missed, and I think that's what got people onto Chance, because at that point Kanye, he was in a weird zone. He had dropped Yeezus, and things were looking a little weird for Kanye. We didn't know what was coming out next and stuff. So I think that he benefited off of that.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely hear the Kanye influence in Chance's music, and even more Kanye ties in. I mean, he's from Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, that right there is probably why Chance was a huge fan, and he's still, pretty good buddies with Kanye nowadays. But what I loved about this time when Acid dropped Chance, so this was his second project, and really the one that essentially launched him made him an internet darling. But what I liked this time is Chance. This time in Chicago, you had Chief Keefs, you had King Louis, you had the Fat Trells, which they were killing the drill scene, and the drill scene was great. Chicago was spearheading a movement. Then you have Chance, who is just the complete opposite. Like they're all their music videos, they're towing guns. This shit looks like a first person shooter. Chance is giving you vibes like cotton candy and real chill, and like
Positivity,
you're just chilling with your boys and you're just stoned. Like it's like relaxing. He's going nah 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 nah. Like the total opposite of it. And from face value, you think it wouldn't work to be in contrast to that, but it really did, and I think it was just refreshing.
I think what helped him is he promoted it and he named it acid rap. So that kind of continued with like the heavy drug use that like guys like Chief Keef and Lil Reese and all those rappers were talking about. He kind of like tricked you, like it's called acid rap. So you're like, all right, he's from Chicago, maybe like he's continuing on that. But then when you listen to it, it was kind of like the complete opposite, like you said, like a 180.
I think it also plays into like a psychedelic type of rap that was going on. And that's when Flatbush, I know I talk too much about Flatbush on this show, but Flatbush, Underachievers, they were coming out with that sound that was acid,
by Mac,
which is more psychedelic style of Mac, which came out, I guess, the year after, right in 2014. But there was a lot of music that was coming out, or even Absol, which is featured on this album. Absol was really on his come up with albums in 2011 and stuff like that. So there was that. I could see why the naming and the cover art too could like lead the eye of like, oh, this might be an interesting experience project to check out.
It was just listening to it. It was from the beginning. The song, it starts off with good ass intro, better than I heard the last time. Or I probably just fucked that up. But that intro, it was just like immediately. You know what I thought about? The Magic School Bus. That's the vibes I got from the first song that went on. I was like, oh, this is the Magic School Bus. We going for a ride.
That's pretty good. Yeah, no, I mean, right off the bat, and again, if you haven't really listened to acid rap, I definitely think that intro is very similar to the intro that he had for Coloring Book, which when the intro to Comic Book was All We Got with Kanye and the Chicago Children's Choir. Very simple, and it's clearly Chance is trying to kind of follow the same pattern.
It's like an epic clap, like
it brings you in. It's like better than, like Jeremy said, better than I was the last time. Like he's just trying. He really feels like the intro, like you're kicking something off. Like you're not. I feel like a lot of artists don't do that with their intro songs. Like they just jump right into what they're talking about and stuff. It's like Chance is starting you off here and then crescendoing in the middle, and he's working his way back down. Like it's a full project that's meant to be listened front to back.
And I mean, he had BJ the Chicago Kid on there, and a couple other features, but that BJ was really the most notable on there. And BJ's known for that soulful vibe, and he just adds so much to songs. Like him on studio is so good. Like there's so many songs where BJ the Chicago Kid kills it, but like that's probably
Cushing
one of the bigger
Corinthians
ones.
on Section 80. That was probably the song that introduced me to BJ the Chicago Kid, and like he's one of the more underrated R&B singers, if you'll even really call him R&B. You know, he's just a singer. You know, but he's so underrated. That's a good cut too. I think Chance. He associates with good people as well. It's funny, like he has the streets are almost on his side too. Because we mentioned the other Chicago. He's really liked by a lot of people, so I think it might be easier for him to get features than some other people.
Well, later in his career, he's done songs with like every gangster rapper you can call it. All the gangster rappers in Chicago he's done with. Like him and Herbo, like they have a few songs out right now. If you look up iTunes or whatever you prefer, Tidal, of course. But he's Chance. He knows what he's doing. He knows the market to hit, and I think from the beginning of this song, he kicked it off in a way that like it was different, and I was like, I'm in for the ride.
Before we go too much into the tracks, this album was, as we said before, this was like a smash of a success. It was crazy on Dat Piff. This was like one of the trending things on Dat Piff forever. It's diamond on Dat Piff, meaning that more than a million people have downloaded it. More than, I was looking earlier today, which you can still download this for free on Dat Piff. There had more than 3 million plays on it, you know, so it was popular as hell at the time, and I think it was popular for a reason. It was refreshing. You know, the intro is refreshing. Push Man in the next track, he immediately goes into a track that is split down the middle and has that, I guess, beat change you could say, but it's really two tracks.
Yeah, it's really two different songs, but he kept it in one version. But that I listening to that song, I was thinking like I thought that people started doing that more like when Travis came out, but I didn't realize that like artists were already doing that. Like it didn't become noticeable until Travis did it for me. Like
because Travis does the beat switches so much better than a lot of people, but this is just that example.
Really, for me, it was I think Nothing Was the Same by Drake. That's what I really.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to say. That I didn't realize that till I like listened to this. Like. It was there already.
Even before that, Take Care, the cameras. I love that, the split part in cameras. So it is a thing, but Chance does it good with two songs that are literally opposites, and that's why they're in the same track. Paranoia at the end, and Pusha Man. Pusha Man, he's saying, I'm your Pusha Man. I'm your drug dealer, essentially.
Yeah.
And Paranoia is honestly, it sounds like Chance's paranoia of life on the streets, you know. He asked where Matt Lauer at and where Katie Couric is on reporting on the gun violence in Chicago. It's kind of an incredible swap if you really listen to what the meaning is behind the Pusha Man and Paranoia. He does this intentionally. This wasn't just, let's put him in one track. This was done intentionally, and it works really well artistically, I think.
Yeah, and it does. And what I personally like the second half of Pusha Man better than the first.
Yep.
I think it's a good song, but I like the second half more, where Chance gets more a little deeper. It's kind of him. I imagine him like taking a drag of the blunt, and then that's when him just kind of saying the second verse. But what I like about it is that we're 1.5 songs in, right, to listen to this, and I'm listening to really Chance the first time, and right off the bat, I'm getting super happy, in your face, bop, 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 down, 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 like upbeat, and then it kind of switches like that, and he's, you know, I've been riding around with the blown on my lips, with the sun on my eyes, and the gun on my head. But it's like, whoa, like I was not expecting this kind of switch. I thought we were gonna get more of the intro throughout the rest of it, because he was just so positive, and it's just like so bouncy on the beat, and
Yep.
And sometimes when you're not really listening to the lyrics, like I really like listened to it these past couple days, and like initially when I first listened to this, I probably like overlooked like all the real shit he was talking about on there, and I was just like, I just like the way the beat switched, and just the vibe that is just it's like a smooth jam. Like Boogie right now has that slow ride out. That's kind of what I feel like on that. Like it's just like a little cruise, you know.
That's a great comparison.
Cruising in the whip. But I just want to shout out Nate Fox. He's on the hook right there. And he produces a few songs on here. He's got Juice, Loss, Chainsmoke, and Favorite Song. We'll talk more about him later, but the second half of this, the lyrics on this are crazy. Everybody dying in the summer, so pray to God for a lot more spring. And I was thinking about that. Chance was talking about this in 2013. It's now 2019, 6 years later, and Chicago is still one of the most deadliest places in the world. Like, what is going on? Like, that's crazy. Like, you see right now the homie from Empire, he's got all the attention in the world, and the chief police officer from Chicago, he released a statement. He was like, I wish you guys would pay as much attention as you did to this as every death that happens in Chicago. And it's true, though. Like, President Trump tweeted, we know he likes attention, but he even tweeted at this guy from Empire, like, why can't he tweet, like, let's get, like, some troops over there? Because it's crazy right now in Chicago. It's been crazy, as we can tell, since 2013.
No, yeah, I mean, it's still similar. I mean, in Chicago, they call it Chirac. It's dangerous out there and stuff. But yeah, Chance's, this is back in 2013, and he's still talking about the same stuff he's advocating for today. Like, Chance is he's a very political guy. Like, he's campaigning for the new mayor of Chicago. He's very active in his support of the, I think it's a woman, I believe. Don't attack me, Chicago.
I think his dad worked for Obama.
He did. His dad did work for Obama. So, but it's not like Chance has been the same person since the beginning to now. Like, it's not like he's just trying to hop on the political wave like I feel like a lot of celebrities are, because it's just easy to talk about, especially with the head we have in office right now. But he's talking about it on his second project, which was a mixtape. Like, Chance was still relatively unknown at this time, and that's a risk, I feel like, because you don't want to get labeled. Like, if you get labeled as the political guy early in your career, you can kind of get derailed from mainstream success. I like a fucking Immortal Technique or something like that. Or Talib Kweli.
Someone like Mos Def.
People will cast you as like the weird guy or like the conspiracy theorist, but Chance was able to find a nice balance with it.
Look what happened to Lupe Fiasco after he called out Obama. You know, that was like such a big moment for his career.
B.O.B. as well. He went a little crazy politically.
B.O.B. still crazy.
Yeah, he's a little crazy. But I mean, what I love about this and what I didn't realize is I love listening, and you guys do too, but I know some people, they don't listen to things in order. When you're listening to Push a Man / Paranoia, when it goes right into Cocoa Butter Kisses, the transition with the organs, it's so eerie. Like, what he's talking about, like the last thing he says is like, everybody's dying in the summer, so we can get a lot more spring, like I said earlier. And then as soon as it's over, it goes right into the organs, and it goes into like one of my favorite songs on the album. But like, just re-listening to it, I didn't get that eerie tone the first time I like listened to this. For real.
I think the transition is smooth and seamless, especially going from that like dark side of the end of Push a Man to Cocoa Butter Kiss, which honestly might be my favorite song. And just Chance again, just with the catchy, just the way he just saying words, like he's like, oh Loudy Saudi of Sour Saudi, like that was just stuck in my head, because I just I really never heard someone in rap really say that. And it's not like it's groundbreaking lyrics and stuff like that. It's just someone willing enough to take the risk in hip hop to feel like a genre would be so ready to clown you.
Is this going to be corny or not?
Is it going to be corny or not? Yeah. And to do it on your second project when you're still relatively unknown, it's a risk. But it's clearly worked out for Chance today.
That's one of the best.
Still very popular.
That's one of the best parts of the song. And I said this before we started to record, but this was the song where, you know, introing the Chance, listening to the mixtape through, liking what I hear, not sure. Once Cocoa Butter Kisses come on, that's where you're sold. That's where you're like, what an incredible, like, what a crazy song that you haven't heard before. And Vic Mensa gives a crazy verse on it. Twista's there at the end, like closing it off. Which
that
is
part,
like,
I love that he has the new school with Vic, who's like in his class.
One of his boys.
And then a tape dropped later this year around September, and this dropped July. So, and then he had Twista, the OG legend who. He killed so many songs, and he was obviously on that Overnight Celebrity with Kanye that really like put Twist into the limelight. But I mean, shout out to Chance for doing that. Like, he didn't have to put Twist on there. Like, I know Vince is his boy, but like, that's a big look. Like I always say, you can talk about how back in the day, those are your favorite rappers, how much they influence you. But if you're not putting them on your shit, then keep your mouth shut. And Chance has proved over and over again, like on the next mixtape where he had T-Pain on there when T-Pain wasn't popping anywhere. It's not that he was bad, it's just that people weren't like featuring with T-Pain, but Chance really does that, and that's why I respect him so much.
Yeah, no, it's a big shout out to the Chicago legend, really. And just, I think what's crazy listening to Cocoa Butter Kisses now and just hearing Vic Mensa, because like I was saying this before to Skyler, like Vic Mensa clearly sounds a lot younger, but he also sounds like he's not angry. Like I feel like Vic Mensa is just an angry person. Like in this, he clearly sounds like he's at peace or he's at ease. And
More playful.
Yeah,
honestly.
and he's not like, punk rock, hip hop, all
That's
that
because
kind
there
of
was
stuff.
no pressure on him. He hadn't signed to Rock Nation. Like he didn't
He's a
tour
kid.
with
He's a
Jay-Z. Like there was so much has happened to Vic, and like a lot of it's not his fault because a lot of people take his words out of pocket. Like I don't know why. Like they give him so much shit. Yes, he does walk himself into there, but I mean, to be honest, like he doesn't deserve some of the stuff.
Oh, 100%. I know what you're saying. People do take his words out of context, 100%. Like but he is still that.
He pushes
punk
the
guy,
line. Yeah,
but he walks up
Angry
on
rapper.
the.
He's an angry
Yeah,
rapper.
he has that going for him. But it was refreshing because this was my intro to Vic probably as well. You know, and then like you said, the internet tape was going to come out soon after, and it's like, oh, okay, cool. So two Chicago guys that are friends coming out with good intellectual music.
Just looking up that Genius, because when it comes to mixtapes, it's like hard to see like what the favorite song is. So if we're just going by like Genius, this one has 2.3 million views, and that's like more than 500,000 more than the next
I think
song.
people are trying to see what Twist is trying to say.
That could be it too.
Oh my God, he raps so fast.
But I mean, it's been years, so like that that also shows that this is the one that people are going back to over and over again. So that might be the favorite song off of here. I don't know. That's one of our favorites. Of course.
It's gotta be. It's the easiest song to play in any situation. You can intro that to someone that doesn't listen to hip hop really, and they'll like the hook. They'll like the beat, almost guaranteed. That's one of the best freaking beats on this tape.
I think favorite song is an easier one to play.
I think if I'm gonna try
For
to
hip-hop
get anyone in
heads.
an acid rap, I'm playing Cocoa Butter Kisses, a favorite song, which I'd honestly might be my favorite songs out there. And favorite song again, it's just so happy. Like you can't help but smile when you listen to Chance, and like sometimes I get mad. It's like, why is this dude making me smile right now? Like, why am I feeling this happy? Like, stop giving me happiness. But this shit is just so upbeat, and the beat's fantastic, and the hook is good. This is my favorite song. Like, it just works so perfectly.
At this point, he was doing the happy, but it wasn't corny. Because I will admit, there was a time where I was getting really annoyed with Chance. Like the time in between this and 3. I was getting a little annoyed at this persona that I don't know. It's not really his fault that the media plays him to be this type of guy, but they just kept showing him like he's the ultimate good guy. Like Chance can do no wrong, and at this time like there was none of that out. So like he wasn't playing any lines. Like we respected him and we could understand him for like his positivity, but also like his like dark raps. But like I just feel like between this and Coloring Book, something happened with Chance where I just got pissed off at him.
I can see that slip up in
It's oversaturation of seeing him around though too. You know, he had all the sponsorships. He's got like the spray commercials. He's got deals. He's got hat deals. He's got shoes.
Super Bowl commercial with the Backstreet Boys.
Which was the most cringy thing of the night probably, other than the Patriots winning. But yeah, no, that was a total problem. Gambino kills this track too.
Yeah,
great Gambino verse. He's coming off
like
a hot mixtape. He's coming off the royalty mixtape, which was crazy at the end of 2012.
Fire mixtape.
So I don't know. This was like the perfect collab, and they're boys, obviously.
It sounds like a Gambino song.
Yeah, it does.
It really sounds like a Gambino song, which is like not Chance, but I mean, it just works so well.
And I'm not gonna lie, you know how they kind of like I guess switch off on the hook a little bit, like Gambino does the hook. I like it when he does the hook during his verse.
Got a great voice.
I like it more when he does it than when Chance does it. And no, that's no hate on Chance because Chance sounds amazing. But I don't know. I just love when Gambino when Gambino sings it and that over Chance.
That was probably the song that was played the most up there with Cocoa Butter Kisses. But I feel like, as we were talking about earlier, everyone knew that song. Favorite song. It introduced a lot of people to Gambino, I imagine, as well, because not everyone was on the royalty mixtape, which was one of the build-up of Gambino's kind of career, I would say.
Well, I gotta say this. It's ironic that these two are on this track because these are two artists that their fans make me hate them. And it's Childish Gambino, it's Chance the Rapper, it's Kanye West, and Frank Ocean.
Really? You think Gambino and Chance fans are
yes.
No, I disagree.
I love all these guys.
State your case, Jeremy.
Listen, I love all these guys, but online, on social media, their fans hype them up so much. It's almost as if they can't pass gas without it smelling. Like the way these guys are hyped up, like everything they release is fire, and that's not true. I honestly don't think like this is America. Trash. Let's call it like it is. Trash ass song, horrible song. That is the first song ever to win hip hop. The first hip hop song ever to win Song of the Year. That song is fucking trash.
Yeah, but you have to know that's your opinion that is not shared by most people.
It's shared by a majority in hip hop, and it was online on Twitter.
The song's not
that's
that
just
good.
not.
It's the video.
It's trash.
The video.
It's trash.
It is. You're wrong. You are wrong if you say a majority of hip hop fans say that it is trash. That is just not correct.
I don't think
a majority of fans
a majority of people think that song is trash. You know who likes that song? The white people that like pop music, that like country. They like that song.
What? That is so not in the basis of truth at all.
Hip hop does not fuck with that song.
That's just not true.
They fuck with the video, not the song.
That's just not.
I agree with you that the song's not that great, but I still think there's a lot of people who like that song.
I don't
even
think
just
so.
they like the
That's
song
outrageous.
without the video.
You think it should have won Song of the Year and should have been the first song ever to win? The first hip hop song ever to win.
I've given up on the Grammys trying to get anything right.
Grammys are bullshit.
I'm just saying that song was bad.
Yeah,
all right.
I can agree with you. But the saving grace is the video.
My overall point was that those four artists, their fans hyped them up so much, and they make me hate those. I love all four of those guys, but their fans hype those guys up so much that I can't stand them sometimes.
It's the exclusivity with the music, I think, for sure. Because Gambino doesn't release. Chance doesn't release shit, so when they do, it's so like hype. Like I was, and we were talking about this before we started recording, but like those are two that I expect to have albums this year. Yeah. And if they don't, what are they doing? Because Gambino's at his peak of hotness, coming off sweeping the Grammys of all that crap. Chance is coming off cheesy Super Bowl commercials. He's all permanently popular. I think it's honestly the exclusivity in Frank. We don't even get into Frank. He's like a mythos in music. Almost.
Frank is dropping, I think he said March 1st. He has a single with Andre 3 Stacks, SZA, and Kendrick on it.
The Andre verse is supposed to be fire.
I'll believe it when I see it.
I'm looking for that. I mean, he tweeted that himself, or Instagrammed it, whatever. He used some type of social media to post it. So I'm only believing it because he posted it himself. And then Chance, obviously, he announced his new album drops in July, which he calls his first album ever. That's what Chance himself is calling it, his first album ever. And then, obviously, like we said, Gambino should be dropping Kanye, but I just want you guys to pay attention to when these guys drop and just listen to their fans and how they speak about them.
Jeremy hates you if you like them. That's what.
No, I don't hate. I hate the fans. I don't hate those artists.
No, I see what you're saying. I think it's what Skyler said. I think it's the exclusivity of their music. Is that. And I think it's a smart business play. It's like you gotta want to make people pay for your time. Like you gotta it better be worth it for you to do something. I think it's very similar to like professional fighting. If you're a boxer, if you're an MMA fighter, you're taking blows. Like you're doing serious damage to your body. So when you step into the ring or the octagon, you better be getting paid because you're taking years off your life. Like I think it's very similar to hip hop. I think Rocky's done the same thing too. Rocky's put out more music, but Rocky really doesn't have like a lot of music out there for someone who's seriously popular.
But Rocky isn't hyped up the way these guys.
No, I agree.
People don't buy his shit like a lot of these guys shit though. But their fans turn out though. The four you're talking about, their fans turn out and make them hit number one.
Chance is gonna go number one when he drops.
I'm telling you, I enjoy their music, but what makes me hate, not hate, but dislike them is the stands. They're too much with these guys. Like they are way too much with these guys. Like in no shape or form should Kanye ever be mentioned in a best rapper contest because he doesn't write all his rap, so you can't consider him a rapper. Frank's Blonde was okay, like to each his own. That wasn't like his best project. We can agree on that.
It's not his best, but he doesn't have a lot of projects. So I think that's the thing with like Chance and Gambino is it's kind of like it's like a Barry Sanders thing. Like since he retired early, so many people could say he's the greatest, but it's like you only had Gambino obviously killing his feature off this. Honestly, all the features off Acid Rap are fantastic. I mean, we talked about BJ's the Chicago Kid, and he shows up twice on the intro and Everybody's Something. We have Gambino, a favorite song, and then we got Absol on Smoke Again, and then my personal favorite, probably my third favorite off the album is Nana. That's basically the song right there, just with Bronson. Bronson, again, just painting pictures like not many people can like him. He said he's got a team of hoes like Pat Summitt. Like, I cracked up laughing when I heard that the first time. He's eating chicken parm with a girl who has a cleft palate. Like, that shit is fucking ridiculous. And just Chance is really pick the right people, I feel like, to have him. I feel like he matched the energy of everyone on that. Like, Nana, he's very playful and kind of joking around like Bronson, and then on Smoke Again, he's kind of going off with a Soul's like little narrative, like he's selling drugs and stuff like that in the back of his car and shit.
I was saying to you guys before we recorded this that Nana has become like favorite song was probably my favorite song off of this, but re-listening to this, Nana just like they just fucked around on this so much. I just love that they fucked around, but that shit sounds so good. Like, they're literally just yelling, screaming nonsense during this song, and like their ad-libs are crazy, and like it's still fire. And I just want to know how these two met, because I don't know if they fuck with the same girl or something, but both songs that they have with each other, they have this one and they have the one off Mr. Wonderful with Chance.
Baby Blue.
Baby Blue.
Fantastic song.
And that,
which is so similar. That's right. It's very similar.
On that shit, they were talking about like they hope that she gets a paper cut on her tongue.
Yeah, Chance is talking about X.
And then on here, Chance goes, "Swallow my mucus, hope your pussy get herpes and your ass get lupus." Yeah. Like, I don't know what type of girl or like what they're talking about, but that's some fucked up shit.
Chance said lickety split in a rap. Like, I think it's just so funny. Like, and then Bronson's verse is just quotable. It's like out the ass. Like, he's pulling off in El Camino with 3 Japanese dykes. Like, what's going on here? Like, this shit is wild. Like, this sounds like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, but you got Action Bronson and Chance the Rapper instead of Johnny Depp and Benicio del Toro, or Guillermo del Toro, whichever one. But
yeah, it's
so
just
funny.
It's just I just think it's funny like that when they get on songs with each other. We have 2 songs that prove it right now. They just like talk shit about some girl in their past that fucked them up, or maybe they're talking about the same girl that they didn't know they were messing with. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. And it's funny because like I bet you Chance made a lot of new fans with Coloring Book. Like they go back and listen to Acid Rap, like holy shit, this is Chance, this is Mr. Squeaky Clean, like this is the Mr. Can't Do No Wrong. Like you wouldn't think that, but I mean it's perfect. Like I think the features up and down are fantastic. Like he really found people that could really match his style well.
And he had Saba on Everybody Something, and Saba's someone that's I feel like really, I don't know, I think that he's gotten a push. Like I've seen a lot and I've heard a lot more of him this year, and he's like on all the festivals like Gov Ball, Coachella. He's not headlining or nothing, don't get me wrong, but he's at these festivals and he's making appearances. So like that's a good sign that he's moving on and he's coming up. Mm-hmm. And that's just a good look. Chance put a lot of people on in this. I'm not really sure like where some of these guys are, like Lil K or JP Floyd or No Name, but like some of these guys that he put on here, like this was the ultimate like assist, because this got viewed a lot. So like just being on here, like that's a big look for Chance, and another reason why I respect him heavily.
He ends the mixtape with 2 of my favorite tracks, Acid Rain and Chainsmoker. Everything's Good is the technically last track, but Acid Rain and Chainsmoker I think give the perfect balance of the fun and the deep. Acid Rain is really like introspective, thinking about that, just really, I mean, I said before, introspective, and then Chainsmoker is like, in my opinion, it's one of the perfect driving jams, just enjoying yourself in the summer or something like that. It's so high energy, it's so it feels like a conclusion, but then there's a song after it. So I think he ends it, and I think it's smart to end it with not having features. Yeah, there's a few singers on Everything's Good, but they're not actually credited. But it's a good ease down of the mixtape, of the journey that he took you on beforehand, I guess.
It's a good bookend, definitely. And then on Chainsmoker, and he says, "Last chance joint got to be a dance joint from an introspective, drugged out standpoint." Like, I mean, he just described the whole. He just described the whole album.
And that was produced by Nate Fox, the guy that I was talking about earlier. That was featured on Pusha Man / Paranoia. So like he produced and made and could be on the hook. Like that's pretty good looks by that guy. I just want to go back to Jake One because he did Acid Rain.
Oh yeah.
Like you were just saying, Jake One is a big producer. He's out here. Like he's produced for Dre, G Unit, and Sal. You might not know this, but he did produce John Cena's biggest hit and his intro. You know what I'm talking about? The Time Is Now.
The Time Is Now.
That's produced by Jake One.
That might be his biggest record.
That's
I can't believe, honestly,
really?
Straight up, like I really did not know that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeremy, for enlightening me.
That's a crazy fact.
That's
He's
fire.
produced by him, but
that's flame.
This Jake One, he just shows his versatility to be on, do a John Cena track and do a Chance track.
Go.
But that was probably the biggest guy he had on here as far as producers, like well known.
Yep.
But yeah, Chance, like I said, Chance did a good job putting people on for this album while also dropping good music. Wiz Khalifa, Drake just re-released So Far Gone to the streams that you can stream it now. Wiz had a good tweet. He was like, "Classics will always be classics." Re-listening to this is a classic, easy, like. No skips from me. I get the same vibes that I always got listening to it originally. And how I know it's a classic is because when I listen to it, my favorite song changes. And that's just hard to do. Like when you have a good album, like your song can change. But when the album is terrible, you're only gonna go for those 2 tracks.
Yeah. So do you think you can narrow down actually a top, or is it always changing?
I mean. Permanently favorite song will be on there, and then the next 2 are just like changing.
Interchangeable. Yeah.
I go Nana right now just because of how fly that was, and probably good ass intro. But I mean, besides favorite song, this is intertwining everything.
I feel you too. Like when I go back and listen to this ass rap, I love the whole project, but I probably stick to like the same 3 or 4. But now that in preparation for us recording this, I was listening to front to back multiple times and. Favorite song and Cocoa Butter Kisses are probably my 2 favorites, and then Nana, I'd probably say. But the whole, I totally relate to you on that point, Jeremy. Like, yeah, every time I listen to it, I relate to the time when I first listened to it.
Yeah.
Like, back in 2013, it's just a good feeling. Like, I just feel happy, and and you laugh, and it's fun, and it's like so much of hip hop. I just feel so much of hip hop tries to take things way too seriously.
Yeah.
Like, just relax, bro. And like Chance is telling you. Relax, bro. Like, let's have some fun. Let's make some music.
That's his message.
And he's
the perfect balance of fuck around, talk like ignorant, but also have music with a message. Like this is what we want in an artist. Like if we're gonna be honest, this is what everyone wants in an artist. They want you to be aware of your surroundings. Chance is very aware. He's talking about the deaths in Chicago, but he also can get ignorant. He also can just talk that shit on there that like a 23-year-old wants to hear. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Exactly.
What are your 3 favorites, Skyler?
I think I'm with you on the interchangeable thing because on my most recent playthroughs, I'd say probably every time I've revisited the past year or so, Chainsmoker is like. That's my song. Like, that's the one, and that's one that in 2013 probably wasn't one of my favorites. So that's got to be up there in my top 3. I think Cocoa Butter Kisses and favorite song are probably the rounding it out. But Acid Rain's great. Juice is right there.
Yeah, that's real good.
Juice is incredible, and that's like a Chance. If you're like, if you want to just dive into how Chance sounds, go with Juice because that's just like, all right, you're gonna get the ad libs, you're gonna get the craziness, you're gonna get the bars too for sure. That song, so. And
I really love the message behind Everybody's Something.
Yeah,
it's a little corny, but at the same time, I don't feel corny listening to it. I think Chance does a great job of just presenting like a real happy song for us.
His verse 2 in that is Slim Shady LP era Eminem in terms of how his voice sounds and delivery. I promise you. Go back to that second verse. It is 100% Slim Shady. Like, it sounds like something that could be. It sounds like the Bad Meets Evil almost. The Royce track. Like, it sounds so crazy.
In the past that Eminem is an influence.
It's a clear influence, and especially the old Eminem, the Slim Shady and Marshall Mathers LP. You can hear it in his voice. You can hear it in his delivery on certain rhymes, and that's the song where I really hear the Eminem influence. You can hear a lot of other influences, but that's the one where I'm like, all right, you're definitely a big M fan, and like you said, he's been open about that in the past.
Quick note, I actually got to see Chance perform some of this. Really, what I didn't know would be my first and only time seeing Mac Miller, but that was one of the greatest tours. I've mentioned this a little before, but Chance the Rapper opened up, then Earl Sweatshirt, then Vince Staples, then Mac Miller.
Wow.
That tour was insane, and Chance only did like 4 songs. I think he did the hits, I guess you can quote unquote hits on this. Good ass intro, Cocoa Butter, favorite song, and then I think he did Everybody Something, but Chance, his energy, just seeing him, he's crazy. And me and Sal, we saw him a couple years ago at Hot Jam. And Chance,
we did.
The energy,
I have seen him.
The energy that Chance brings to a concert is so good, and he has obviously a live choir there. So if you ever get a chance, go check out Chance the Rapper live.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, his whole band, the Donnie Trumpet and the Social Experiment.
So good.
They put out that great album Surf back in 2015.
Yeah. Yep.
I think it was. I mean, Sunday Candy was a huge hit off that. Familiar with Quavo and King Louie. That's just one of probably my favorite Chance songs of all time.
The instrumentals on that CD are crazy. That's one to revisit. That really, I mean, I guess it was big at the time, but I feel like people don't talk about it anymore, and it should be considered an album in Chance's in the albums he's put out. You know, it was a big project of him, and it was a risk to take too, because that was coming off some decent success, and before he dropped something bigger, he goes with something offbeat.
To do his band, not hip hop, really. It really wasn't hip hop.
Jazz influence.
It was a free album on iTunes, so I think that's where people get confused sometimes about that project, just because. I remember when it came out, and it was Surf. You could just download it.
Chance threads the line so much with that, where it's almost, and Drake totally copied with if you're reading this, it's too late. Yeah. Like totally, that came out because of Chance, because of Coloring Book and all that stuff. 100%, and stuff beforehand. Like he was seeing that was how you can actually do this, you know.
Mm-hmm. I mean, in Chance, I think it's up for interpretation. I mean, he's claiming he's independent, but he has essentially the backing of
big money,
the largest music streaming provider in the world.
Yeah.
So I mean, he maintains it. You know, you could take his word for it. It's up to your interpretation. I mean, he probably
it's all semantics at this point.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter. And I'm honestly excited for the new project that he's gonna drop. What, July? Is he gonna drop?
I believe he said July or June. So.
It's been a while. I mean, Coloring Book I thought was okay. Like I was not as good as Acid Rap, but I mean, it had hits like No Problem.
It had a few hits.
No Problem is a fucking banger.
Well, you have 2 Chainz and Lil Wayne, and you can't really go wrong. But he says it's his first album. I don't know how to feel about that. That would be a whole other discussion to get into. But I mean, I want Chance to do more, to sound a little more like Acid Rap than Coloring Book. That's just my preference of Chance the Rapper. That's the Chance that I love.
I prefer less of the gospel stuff that Coloring Book was fully behind. There are some songs that are like straight up unlistenable for me on Coloring Book, in my opinion. And I'm just like,
I agree.
This is like
I agree.
Cringy to
like
an extent.
the T-Pain song. He like there's good parts of it, but then it gets to a part where it's just a full all out choir.
Swap,
The song with Jay Electronica, like I love Jay's verse, and I'll take a little bit of the choir, like I'll have a little bit if it sounds good, but I mean the song How Great is like 2 minutes of choir.
It literally, I want the Jay Elect voice, I want the verse, and I want none of the rest. Exactly,
he can do that.
It's like cringy to me. I don't know.
I feel like Chance, if you want to make a gospel album, do it. Just make a strictly gospel album.
Get out of your
make it that for you, or make that for the people that want it. Let's get it out. But there's I agree with Jeremy. Like I want more of the acid rap.
I need
stuff.
more. And he kind of explained this in an interview he did on the Joe Budden podcast, where he said, "I'm just making music that's relevant to my life.
Yeah,
that's why it's not more towards the acid rap." And I understand that. Like I completely get that your life changes. He had a kid. He's about to get married. Like things change in your life, and I'm not saying that you need to go back to a part of your life where you were experimenting and doing drugs that like you normally wouldn't do. But I'm just saying, Chance, take a listen to that album and just listen to how we fell in love with you, and that's how you're gonna keep us like forever happy, and I won't complain at all.
Exactly.
If he gives a listen to the Rap Takes podcast this week too, then he'll know exactly how the people are feeling, what they want from him, what he needs. iTunes, SoundCloud, whatever you listen to, it's
I hope
there.
Gambino hears this.
Exactly. Facebook.
Gambino's gonna kill you.
Twitter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're calling him out.
Yeah,
I ain't
he's
a
got a-
flyer though.
Gambino's got a Grammy behind him and a million people that say you're wrong,
Jeremy
Jeremy, but he'll
wants
be
all
fine.
the smoke.
I want all the smoke for
With
that song.
Gambino fans too. Come
You
get
get
him at
Jeremy's
Rap
man.
Takes on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the social media channels. Check us out. Tweet at us. Tell us why you hate us, why you love us, all that stuff. And just appreciate everyone who's been listening.
And next week that 2 Chainz album drops, so let us know if you want to do that. Pretty Girls Like Trap.
Take a bar.